Hi, my name is Susan Crevassier. I work for the Fairfax County Public Schools Transportation Department. I'm a transportation training instructor. In this segment, we will be discussing the topic of road rage. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration defines road rage as when the operation of a motor vehicle in a manner that endangers or is likely to endanger persons or property. This definition makes the distinction that aggressive driving is a traffic violation and road rage is a criminal offense. In Virginia, aggressive driving is not the same thing as reckless driving or road rage. Instead, aggressive driving is a specific criminal misdemeanor. Aggressive driving cases in Virginia are treated almost identically to reckless driving cases, which is actually a higher offense. You can expect the police officer who gave you the ticket to be the one to handle that in court. Speeding is one of the most common underlying charges of aggressive driving. There are multiple offenses that are attributed to aggressive driving and can be found under the Virginia Code 46.2-868.1. In addition to those offenses, a driver must have presented a hazard to another person or committed the violation of the law with the intent to harass, intimidate, injure, or obstruct another driver. In most cases, violating the aggressive statute is a Class II misdemeanor. In Virginia, a Class II misdemeanor is punishable by jail time of not more than 6 months and a fine of not more than $1,000. However, if the driver acted with the intent to injure another person, violating the aggressive driving statute may be considered a Class I misdemeanor. The potential consequences of a Class I misdemeanor are more significant than those of a Class II misdemeanor. If you are convicted of a Class I misdemeanor, you face jail time of up to 12 months and a fine of not more than $2,500. If you've been charged with aggressive driving, you not only face jail time and a fine, but you also face a criminal conviction that will be on your permanent record. Remember that an aggressive driving charge is not a simple traffic ticket. Instead, you have been charged with a crime, and this could impact your career as a school bus driver, and your CDL could be in jeopardy. People have no idea what it takes to drive a bus full of kids. This statement may cross your mind often, and for the most part, it is a true statement. Driving a school bus is a huge responsibility. There are many aspects to the job. You transport the most precious cargo. Not only do you sit in traffic most of the time, but you drive for a living, and as a professional licensed CDL holder, you are held to a higher standard than other drivers that you may encounter on the road. Distractions inside your vehicle can easily take your attention away from focusing on the roadway. Not to mention dealing with bad behavior from other motorists that exhibit aggressive driving. Remember, you cannot control the action of other drivers, only your own. Keep in mind that you represent one of the largest school districts in Northern Virginia and every other bus driver on the road. Professionalism is not only a choice, but an expectation of Fairfax County Public Schools. Do you ever find yourself exhibiting any of the following behaviors? Signs of aggressive driving, evading traffic controls, following too closely, speeding, laying on the horn, obscene gestures. There is a difference between laying on the horn and simply tapping the horn. Sometimes it is necessary to tap the horn lightly to get someone's attention. When drivers press on the horn and do not let up, this can be interpreted as being aggressive. Ask yourself, why is today different? Could I have done something to avoid this situation? Stick to your normal routine if possible. Consider recording that TV program rather than staying up past your usual bedtime. If you know that you have to get up by 6 a.m. in order to get to work on time, and you're a snooze button person, consider moving the clock across the room so that it forces you to get up and turn it off. Once you're up, you're more likely to continue with your day. Does this look familiar? Are you running late? Be sure to set your alarm clock early enough so that you have plenty of time to get ready and arrive to your destination on time. Unforeseen events such as weather and accidents can create traffic problems and cause you to run behind schedule. These things are out of your control. Recognize your rising anger. The most obvious signs of anger are often physical symptoms that emerge after the fact, like voice tone, language, and gestures. But with practice, you'll learn to recognize the warning signs of anger when you mentally check in on yourself. Common signs of anger include angry, vengeful thoughts, muscle tension, headaches, or elevated heart rate. If you catch yourself speaking out loud, even when you're driving alone, about another driver, you may be experiencing elevated anger. By catching yourself as your anger first emerges, you can prevent that anger from turning into aggression or road rage. Take time to calm down. If you notice yourself feeling angry, it may be best to pull over, if it's safe to do so. Get off of the highway or pull over to the shoulder of the road. Again, only if it's safe to do so, and put your vehicle in park. Take a few minutes to collect your thoughts and calm yourself down before returning to the road. Practice deep breathing to calm your mind and body after experiencing anger. Remember that driving while you're angry puts yourself, your students, and others at risk. Even if you're not yet experiencing full-blown road rage, your anger may cause you to drive recklessly and take unnecessary risks. Using deep breathing techniques can help you calm down and center yourself when you feel angry or tense. Deep breathing is quick and easy, and it can be done while you're driving or stationary. Take a long, slow inhalation into your diaphragm over a 5-second span. Make sure you're breathing into your diaphragm below your ribs and belly instead of just taking shallow breaths into your chest. Hold your breath for 5 seconds. Exhale slowly over another 5-second span. Listen to calming music. This is a good way to relax when you start to experience road rage. It's to listen to soothing music, if you can do so without being distracted. Music can help you calm down and focus on getting to your destination safely. Keep your radio tuned to an approved station that plays calming music. That way, you can play music without having to take your eyes off of the road. Figure out what types of music are most relaxing for you. Try jazz, oldies, and classical music for calm, soothing melodies. Avoid listening to fast-paced, aggressive music while driving. Count until you calm down. You may have seen someone in your family or a character in a movie or TV show counting to avoid getting angry. It's an age-old trick to calm down and prevent an outburst, and it may help you in your moment of anger. Count upwards for about a minute. If you focus on your breathing and distract yourself with counting, you'll stop actively thinking about the person who wronged you and gradually cool down. If you don't feel better after a minute, try counting for another minute. The key is to stop yourself from thinking angry thoughts long enough for your active rage to pass. Try using hand yoga. Hand yoga is the act of stretching and tensing and relaxing the muscles in your hands. It may sound strange, but for some people, it's an excellent way to relieve stress. Just be sure to only take your hands off of the wheel of your vehicle if it's at a complete stop, in traffic, or at a red light. Spread your fingers and stretch out both hands as much as possible. Hold this position for a few seconds, then release it. Curl each finger individually into your palm, pushing gently with your thumb. Hold it, then release. Flex your wrists and bend each knuckle individually to shake out the muscles and joints. Resist the urge to retaliate. If someone cuts you off or is driving too slowly, your initial reaction may be to honk your horn, scream, swear, or use profane gestures. This may make you feel better for an instant, but it will almost certainly aggravate the other driver and could send you both down a rage-filled path. Avoid any inflammatory gestures. This can include honking your horn, flashing your high beams, or extending your middle finger. Each of these may result in an escalated and violent reaction. Try to avoid even yelling or screaming. If you shout swear words at another driver and your window happens to be open, there's a chance that driver could hear you and respond with his own aggression. Reporting road rage to the proper authorities. If road rage is limited to angry gestures, it is likely that you do not need to call the police. But if an angry driver follows you or directly threatens you, it is appropriate to report the incident. If you're able to do so safely, gather the necessary information needed to include the location where the incident occurred. Reporting road rage is a two-way street. Remember, what you do in your personal vehicle can affect your livelihood. Seems like my colleague is having a bad day by the look on his face. This traffic is definitely not helping. He's so frustrated. We're for sure going to be late to school and probably run behind schedule on every route. I wish he would stop honking the horn and yelling at people. They can't even hear what he's saying. What's the point? I wonder if the students realize what's going on. I know. I'll suggest listening to the smooth jazz radio station the next time he stops. Maybe this will take his mind off of the traffic. What do you do when this happens to you? Do you find yourself yelling at the motorists, although you know they can't hear you? Do you throw your hands up in the air and lay on the horn? Could your actions, although somewhat valid, be construed as aggressive driving? Those of us that currently drive a school bus or have driven a school bus know this all too well. We have all been there. Your concerns are valid. Your students are like your own children, and you want to protect them. Earlier, we discussed when it is or isn't appropriate to use the horn. Sometimes it is necessary to tap the horn lightly to get someone's attention. When drivers press on the horn and do not let up, this can be interpreted as being aggressive. Imagine your students that have to cross the street during the loading or unloading process. The last thing you want is a scene like this. So what should I do? Follow proper procedures. Activate your amber warning lights at appropriate distances, 100 to 200 feet, in advance based on the posted speed limit. Be alert for changes. Check mirrors in all directions and around the bus for approaching vehicles. Make eye contact with the students and use the required FCPS hand signal for crossing students. Refer to your PTM for further information. You may reference additional information in your PTM in Section 3, Operation of the Bus, under Loading and Unloading Students. If a motorist passes the bus and the red traffic warning lights are on, your attention should be focused on the students. If there is time, honk the horn in order to get the attention of both the motorist and the students, but do so only to help avoid a potential tragedy. If safe to do so, obtain the necessary information to report the incident to the proper authorities. Remember, you can't control the action of others, only your own. Working together as a team. Recognizing your colleague's frustration level and finding a way to diffuse the situation. Drivers and attendants work together daily. They build a bond between one another. They are a team. They have to be able to communicate respectfully with one another and have a mutual understanding to get the job done safely. If you notice your fellow coworker appears to be having a stressful day, perhaps you can use your wisdom to help reduce the stress level so that they can refocus their attention on what's most important at the moment, getting the students to and from school safely. A calm bus is a happy bus for everyone. Let's test your knowledge. True or false? Speeding is the most common underlying charge of aggressive driving. True. Speeding is one of the most common underlying charges of aggressive driving. What are some things you can do to avoid retaliating when someone makes you angry? A. Give them the finger and yell profanities at them. B. Cut them off the next chance you get. C. Try to avoid yelling or screaming, mind your business, and move away from the driver if possible. Or D. Get directly behind them and flash your high beam lights and honk your horn. The correct answer is C. Avoid yelling or screaming. If you shout swear words at another driver and your window happens to be open, there's a chance that driver could hear you and respond with his own aggression. True or false? What I do in my own car will not affect my CDL. False. Reporting road rage is a two-way street. Remember, what you do in your personal vehicle can affect your livelihood. What is the term used to define road rage in the state of Virginia? A. Aggressive driving. B. Road rage. C. Reckless driving. Or D. Both B and C. The correct answer is A. Aggressive driving. In Virginia, aggressive driving is not the same thing as reckless driving or road rage. Instead, aggressive driving is a specific criminal misdemeanor. Aggressive driving cases in Virginia are treated almost identically to reckless driving cases, which is actually a higher offense. True or false? We all have a responsibility to the public, the school system, parents, and students to report aggressive driving. True. It is your responsibility as an FCPS employee to report aggressive driving behavior to your supervisor. What are some things I can do if I feel myself exhibiting early signs of frustration? A. Turn the radio volume up really loud so I can drown out all of the noise around me. B. Take a few deep breaths, listen to calming music, and count to myself. C. Hurry up and get home and take a bubble bath. Or D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. Using deep breathing techniques can help you calm down and center yourself when you feel angry or tense. A good way to relax when you start to experience road rage is to listen to soothing music, if you can do so without being distracted. True or false? Common signs of anger include smiling, laughter, and happy thoughts. False. Common signs of anger include angry, vengeful thoughts, muscle tension, headaches, or elevated heart rate. True or false? You may face criminal charges and jail time if charged with aggressive driving. True. If you have been charged with aggressive driving, you not only face jail time and a fine, but you also face a criminal conviction that will be on your permanent record. When the vehicle in front of you leaves space when stopped in traffic, you should A. Lay on the horn and shout, "Move up, buddy, you're holding up traffic." B. Be patient. He or she may be texting. Give them a moment before you tap your horn to get their attention. C. Roll your window down and shout, "Let's get a move on." Or D. Both A and C. The correct answer is B. There is a difference between laying on the horn and simply tapping the horn. Sometimes it is necessary to tap the horn lightly to get someone's attention. When drivers press on the horn and do not let up, this can be interpreted as being aggressive. True or false? It is appropriate to sound the horn to alert motorists and students when loading or unloading if safety is an issue. True. Refer to the PTM Section 3, page 2. Make eye contact with the students. The driver will then use the designated signal by pointing at the students and moving the pointed finger in the direction, left or right, the students should walk. Be alert for changes. Remind students regularly that they must be alert and listen for the sound of the horn. True or false? FCPS will let me keep my bus driving job. This is my first traffic ticket ever. False. Remember that an aggressive driving charge is not a simple traffic ticket. Instead, you've been charged with a crime, and this could impact your career as a school bus driver, and your CDL could be in jeopardy. Great job!